centered care is so important. When you know, when you know the person and what they did in their working life, or what their interests are, it really makes a huge difference in the care for that person. And in a smaller facility, when the ratio is only 1:8 instead of 1:15, it really makes a difference, because that person that's caring for 8 people can work with Mr. Jones that was the plumber.
Sure.
You know, so that they can have plumbing supplies, and they can, you know, even have a toilet for him to work on. There's so many things that you can't do in a big facility, but there's so many things that baby boomers need to be looking for.
Okay.
That is memory changes that disrupt your daily living. I don't mean you forgot to go to the dry cleaner.
Yeah.
You know, that's stuff that we always do. When we're driving, we go, I was supposed to turn there. That's normal.
Yeah.
This is things like, I forgot how to use the microwave. I don't know, did I shower today?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That's disrupting your daily living. How to brush your teeth. All of those kinds of things that we need to be looking in ourselves and in our parents, because a lot of baby boomers still have their parents, younger baby boomers.
Yeah.
Challenges in planning or solving problems. Can they follow an agenda? If you say, okay, I'm gonna pick you up, Mom, at 8 o'clock to go to the family reunion, and they don't know what 8 o'clock is?
That just, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They can't follow the plan. A recipe, they can't follow a recipe. I have so many stories about my mom not being able to follow the recipes that she made for, 50 years.
Really?
Oh, that one Christmas was horrible. Difficulty completing familiar tasks.
Such as?
I used to play bingo every day.
Yeah.
I was in a mahjong club or group, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I don't remember how to play.
Gotcha.
I don't remember how to vacuum the floor. How do you turn that thing on? Those kinds of things. Confusion with time or place. In the later stages of Alzheimer's, you can look out the window and not really be able to distinguish if it's day or night.
Really?
Yeah. When you say, I'm going to pick you up at 8, they have no idea what you're talking about.
Time-wise?
Time-wise. You can be decorating for Christmas. I was decorating for Christmas in December, and my mom said, why are you decorating for Christmas? It's July. So she had no concept of time. They dress inappropriately because they look outside and it looks like a summer day, and it's, there's snow.
Yeah. And
they can't distinguish that. Visual images and spatial relationships I want you to pay attention to, because if your parents are still driving, or if your husband is still driving, and they've taken out the mailbox, and they've taken out the side of the garage and the neighbor's bike, there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If they call you and say, I'm on 2nd Street and I don't know how to get home, there's a problem.
Yeah.
And then the visual and spatial relationship, the distance around you. If you can't judge when you're parking between 2 cars,
it is going to get ugly.
And there's really 2 things that are the most important things that we should know about caring for someone with Alzheimer's, is when to have them stop driving. Oh, taking away those keys, it's horrible.
It's hard.
Hard experience. Very hard experience. And placement. When will it be time for placement? And I always say to them, you'll know. You'll just know, because you physically can't do it anymore. You can't, if they fall, what's going to happen? And there's 85-year-old women that are trying to pick up their 87-year-old husband.
Yeah,
You'll just know.
Yeah.
New problems in words or speaking, if that part of your brain is compromised, you might hear somebody repeating themselves, very normal. You might hear somebody call your watch a hand clock. They might not be able to speak clearly. They may stutter. They may stop mid-term. You're talking, and they're like, what was I talking about? So they may just stop and then you have to come up with a new idea, a new topic. Misplacing things, I don't mean like we do with our cell phones, our keys, the remote, things like that. I mean things like putting your glasses in the microwave and turning them on. The unfortunate story of putting a cat in the dryer, it was horrible. She called our helpline. We have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week helpline. And she says, what do I do? You know, she didn't know how to turn it off. So it's things like that that you need to look for. Are they going to happen all of a sudden? No. It's going to be very gradual. Very, very gradual. You might notice something today, you might not. You might notice something a month from now.
Sure.
It's not going to be constant. And if it is constant, it's not Alzheimer's. So I guess that's something to watch for too. Decreased your poor judgment. I've been in houses where from floor to ceiling, brand new boxes. Because they're blessed. They still know how to use the credit card and the phone.
They're able to order.
Yeah, so they order from QVC or the home selling stations or that wonderful gym that looks so fun. I can do that. You know, and they don't even open the boxes.
They just keep ordering.
Or this is the better one. That poor starving child.
Oh, geez.
Oh my God. He's going to starve if I don't give him any food. I got to give him some money. And they're saying it's only 50 cents a day, you know, to feed this child. And they give $10,000. Then their son calls us and says, what do I do? It's too late.
You aren't able to get that back.
Yeah. So we need to watch for these signs, to watch these things before the tragedy happens. Another really, really important thing is if your loved one stops going to the activities that they used to enjoy.
Yeah.
Bingo, bridge.
Bowling.
Yeah, if they were in a bowling team their whole life and they're like, I just don't really feel like going. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Okay, and they keep saying that week after week or month after month. You have to find out why. It might be they forgot how to bowl, they forgot how to keep score, they hurt, they don't drive anymore and they don't want to ask their friend to pick them up. Mm-hmm. They don't want to say anything inappropriate. They know that they're forgetting.
Yeah.
I think that's important for people to know too. They know. My mom used to say, why am I going crazy? She just couldn't figure out the world.
She just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. And then the last one is really important too. Changes in mood or personality. They become suspicious. Those are my headphones you have on. You took my headphones. And then I just want to say, do not argue with them. Say, oh, I'm so sorry. I had a phone call and I had to use them.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for letting me use your headphones. Mm-hmm. Really important.
Don't argue.
Do not argue. Very, very important. So, and a lot of people ask me, well, what's the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia? I don't, we use it interchangeably. Dementia is the umbrella term. Dementia is like the word cancer.
Okay.
There's actually 70 different kinds of dementia. Number one form is Alzheimer's disease, but it doesn't have to be. It can be vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia, and all of those dementias have different symptoms, but they all have one common thread, which is memory loss. In Alzheimer's disease, it might be the first thing you see, but in Lewy body, it might be the 20th thing that you see. Lewy body is more hallucinations, and usually happens in the younger ages of Alzheimer's. And there's also two forms of dementia. There's sporadic and familial.
Okay.
And sporadic is just that. Right now, the statistic is 1 out of 2 people. So half of everybody over 85 will get Alzheimer's. And again, 50%. What are we going to do with these 50%?
What are the options out there today?
the options are trying to stay at home. And I really, when my mom was diagnosed, she was in her 80s, early 80s, and we got at early stage, so she was able to make those decisions. I
Okay.
empowered her,
Yeah.
which is the way that we really want to do it. We don't want to wait until they fall and break their hip.
Yeah.
We want to get it be in the beginning stages so that they can pick. So she picked where she wanted to live. She picked the apartment, and she picked the furniture that she wanted to take with her.
Sure.
Win-win. So there's independent living, which they do provide some service, but it's limited. And really, memory care facilities are the best for someone with Alzheimer's or any other form of dementia, because they are specially trained to handle the behaviors that sometimes arise with this
Sure.
disease, the communication problems, the family dynamics. That's a huge issue with Alzheimer's disease, because a lot of times the son that lives out of town doesn't agree with the daughter that lives in town.
Yeah.
You know, mom's not that bad. I talk to her every Sunday. She seems fine. She
Yeah.
can stay at home. Unfortunately, usually the son says that because he doesn't want to go through her money.
Yeah.
And that's sad, because the mother needs the care. And then I do want to say the other kind of Alzheimer's is familial. And that is when it's in your family. And that usually happens at a younger age.
So early onset.
Early onset. It's now called young onset, and because we want to distinguish between young onset and early stage. Because early stage can be in your 80s.
Okay.
Young onset, we have a lot of people in their 40s and 50s.
40s and 50s.
They're trying to stay at home. It's hard. It's hard because, anyway, back to my mom, I was saying that I did my due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
I went through all of her expenses to stay in her house with 24-hour care and what a assisted living facility would cost.
So on average, what did you find the average cost of a 24/7 in? Because I do talk to people every day, and it seems to be that if they have a choice, they would prefer to be in-home.
In-home.
What does a 24/7 in-home caregiver typically cost?
It depends on the level of care.
Mhm.
There's from companion, all housekeeping, all the
Sure.
way up to RNs.
Mm-hmm.
And the RNs are about $45 an hour now, and the companions are around 15 to 20,
Mm-hmm.
and it ranges from there. RNs in different areas obviously are more expensive.
Sure.
But I found that my mom's care at her home, she would have no socialization,
Mm-hmm.
she has no transportation, she had no activities. In assisted living, she had all of that, and it was only $100 a month more than what we were paying at home.
So if someone is in home, even at $15 per hour times 24 hours, I mean, that's $360 per day.
A day.
And that's the entry level there, and if you take that times 30 days, that's $10,800. So
A big difference.
those are options out there. Plus, on top of that, if someone is going to be in their own home, you also have to pay for the upkeep of the house,
That's the thing.
taxes, ComEd,
Yep. Mowing the
food.
lawn. Yeah, I mean, all of that. When I took that all into consideration, there was no discussion. I mean, it was like the perfect choice for me. Maybe for some people it wouldn't have been.
Right.
But, everybody wants to stay in their house. I just don't understand that. I just don't get it, because there's so many wonderful places to live in with the people that know what to do. And there's so many times, like I said before, 83-year-old wife, 87-year-old husband, how in the heck can she care properly for him?
You can, yeah.
And there's another statistic. 1 out of 3 people that care for someone with Alzheimer's disease dies before their care receiver. stressed. They have to be on 24/7. They have to come up with what's gonna happen next. You know, he sees somebody outside, cutting down their tree. What are you gonna do? The living facility will know what to say to him if he sees that. The wife goes, "What the heck are you talking about? There's no one outside." I mean, it comes down to there's so many little parts of dealing with someone with Alzheimer's disease or dementias
Sure.
that it's crucial to have the proper care.
Excellent. Is there any other tips or tricks that you could to give someone that's in that position trying to figure out what to do with their elder parents? Any situational? One of the topics I think you brought up is it is difficult